Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neill Patel.
And today we are going to talk about how to grow your marketing through partnerships. So where should we start with partnerships? I mean, maybe we'll start off with kind of the definition of what we think is partnerships, right? So for me, I look at recently some of the marketing we've been doing, collaborating with SEO software or tools out there and doing joint webinars. That's an example of partnerships. Other examples could be, let's say I just take like an affiliate partnership and I want to push Crazy Egg out there. Neill might pay me 10 or 20% of recurring commissions just for pushing things out there. That's just a starting point, but I'm curious to get kind of your thoughts around what partnerships look like and what kind of partnerships you've done recently.
I look at a partnership as, when it comes to marketing, that you're doing something to help another company and they're doing something to help you. So it has to be win-win. In addition to that, whatever you're doing that benefits the other company also has to benefit your audience, and whatever they're doing that benefits you has to benefit their audience as well. So it has to be a win-win, not just for both companies, but also both audiences. And the reason this is really important is when you're doing collaborations between companies, if what they're pitching to their audience doesn't benefit them, you won't see any signups, sales, revenue increases, and vice versa. So you have to make sure it truly benefits the audiences.
Yeah, it's got to be equal too. So to Neill's point, think of it quid pro quo, right? You can Google what that means. So quid pro quo, equal exchange. And when you think about, let's say Neill has, how many YouTube subscribers do you have right now?
I have no idea.
Like over 100?
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone comes to you and they have like 2,000 subscribers and then they ask to do a collab with you, what's your response?
Yeah, I'm going to say no because I have over 100,000 and I probably get more than 2,000 in a week.
Right. So it's got to be something equal. You can't do that. It's like, oh, like, yeah, we have an audience that's up and coming too. Like, you got to, if you only have 2,000 followers, like, how do you make it equal for Neill? You can maybe pay him, or you can work out something where you say, hey, you have this podcast that has, millions of downloads a month. That becomes more equal. Then you're able to kind of leverage, your other channels.
Yeah, and Eric brings up a good point. So we do a lot of these partnerships right now. And what we found is, typically, let's say we have 100,000 YouTube subscribers and someone else has 2,000 YouTube subscribers. Most people look at it as a partnership won't work. And that's what you're going to end up running into when you do content marketing partnerships or video partnerships or podcast partnerships. Typically, it's not going to be even. You're going to have a channel that's probably more popular than them or vice versa. So you got to figure out what other channel that you have that's popular that they don't have. So what we found out in many cases, our blog gets more traffic than most people, but they may have an email list that's small, but it's of paying customers. So when they talk about our product or service to their paying customers, it has a high chance to generate more revenue. Sure, the reach isn't as good, but that list is very targeted, and we typically see more dollars from it.
Yeah, I think a really good example of this is Close.io, ran by this guy named Steli FT. And he does joint webinars with a bunch of people, and he's made it, what I've seen is he started to do it casually. Like he has one of the guys, their marketing guys, Ryan, reaches out and he said, hey, do you want to just jump on this chat with, 2 other people and we'll share the leads with you. So the way that works is they will require you to send an email blast out, right? And however many email subscribers you drive to the webinar, they will share an equal amount of leads. So let's say I drive 100 people to go into the webinar, they will also send me 100 leads. So it's an equal exchange that way, where it's not saying, hey, like I'm on the webinar and I should get, all 2,000 of your webinar leads. That's not an equal exchange. Think about how it can be win-win for both sides and think about how you can equalize it.
What's funny is when they were doing a virtual conference, they hit me up. I believe I'm on the virtual conference. I've done so many, I forget. But they hit me up and they're like, hey, are you down to send an email blast? And they broke down the offer. I didn't do it because it's like the numbers just wouldn't work out for me and I don't like promoting to my list. You have to keep in mind when you're reaching out to people, you also have to look at their main agenda. So if their agenda is to make money, sure, you can appeal to that. If their agenda, like for me, is just to educate and build up a brand, making an offer that'll generate me more money is usually going to get turned down. So you need to look at your audience when you're trying to partner up with someone and make sure that whatever you're offering them helps them solve whatever goal that they're trying to achieve or helps them achieve it.
There you go. So that's it around partnerships. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat here. You can do partnership pages. Go ahead.
One more thing. So we both do partnerships. We both also started off doing partnerships when we were nobodies and people didn't know us. What's a strategy that worked for you best when it came to outreach and convincing people to accept the partnership?
Yeah. So right now, okay, well, I mean, a guest blog post is kind of a partnership, right?
Yes, it depends. Guest post on like an entrepreneur, or you're talking about like a guest post on
Yeah, like an
another?
entrepreneur or like another like large website.
Kind of, but they don't necessarily have your
Oh,
audience.
I have a better one. So, okay, when I was at Treehouse, the way we did it in the beginning to get people, we collected a bunch of partners together and we made a partnerships page, similar to what you guys had on Crazy, like a partnerships page.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
works really well.
Hmm.
Another strategy to do when you're first starting off is to do bundling. So if you don't have a popular audience, but you have a product or service, you can go find 10 or 15 other people, bundle all your guys' product or services together, create an offer, and just release it. Or you can just use services. What is it? Not Sumo. Is it Sumo Me?
Sumo? No, Sumo, not Sumo Me. Sumo is the app offers for cheap.
Sumo, right?
Yeah, Sumo.
No, I thought Sumo's
No,
the
Sumo Me is
Sumo's a what is it called? The
oh no, it's
opt-in.
AppSumo.
There you
Sumo
go,
is the opt-in,
AppSumo.
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So AppSumo is another place you can go where they're down to run promotions or offers. But bundling is a really great strategy as well, because even if you don't have the most popular audience, but you're the one who got 5 or 6 or 7 other people together, they'll all promote it. It drives a ton of sales and it's really effective.
Yeah, and before we go, I mean, you got to be really careful with the AppSumo thing. I got in trouble when I ran AppSumo at when I was at Treehouse. We basically created their to date, or at the time, it was their highest record in a day. I think it was like 150 grand or something like that, and they take a percentage from it. But the thing that I didn't realize was I didn't tell the team that this was coming, and basically all the users came in, everyone got inundated, and then I remember the CTO messaged me and said, "You just basically ruined everyone's day." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But anyway, before we go to singlegrain.com/survey. It's gonna take 2 minutes. Trust me, it's worth your time. It's gonna make this podcast better. You're gonna be able to add your feedback. I'm gonna figure out the best ways to help you, and we will see you tomorrow.